Hello, it looks like we are live. Welcome to the very first introductory course of my new business English course called Business English Q&A. Today is not going to be a regular course. I am not going to be actually answering a question today. I just wanted to introduce the idea of the class and explain a little bit about how it works and how I hope you will join in by sending me some questions and joining the class. So Business English Q&A. Q is for question, A is for answer. My hope is that you, the students who have questions or concerns or confusion when it comes to learning business English or professional communication, if you have questions, I hope you will send them to me and I will help you kind of clear away some of the mystery and improve your business English. A little bit about why I'm doing this class. Oh, and I probably should start by saying this is a free weekly event. I have a school that is called Juku Kristi. It's at jukukristi.com. And I do private classes, and my favorite thing are some small group classes where we improve English by having conversations based around a common interest. So we have a class about healthy living. We have a class about social media and building up websites. The idea of doing a business English class came up. People were asking me to teach business English. And I resist that because I don't really know exactly how I can bring more to business English by teaching out at you. But I had an interesting experience with one of my students who was going through a very intense training program at a large corporation. And she had so she's in one of my small group classes, and she asked me to help her understand some of the confusing language that was in her training program. So imagine you are working in an office, you're new, you want to impress your boss and the people you work with. It can be really difficult to ask questions when you don't understand something, especially when it comes to business English. I think asking a question in your office could make you feel like you're showing that you're not as ready maybe as you want to show. So she came to me, she sent me an email with all the questions she had. And I thought, it never occurred to me, the things that she saw that were confusing, because I'm a native speaker, it didn't occur to me that that would be confusing until she asked the question. When I saw her question, I understood right away why it was confusing for her. She speaks English really well. She's very well educated, but some of these terms that we use in a professional setting, there's some sayings or some kind of turns of a phrase, how we say things, they can be confusing. So I answered her questions. She was thrilled because she understood my explanation, and then she could go back to work and feel more prepared and not have to ask her boss the question. So when that happened, I had the birth of this idea to offer a class. I'd like it to just be an open community, free of charge class where people can come, feel comfortable asking a question or expressing a confusion. Like if you're working somewhere and something happens and you're not quite sure what it meant or what you should have said, I would like to create a place where people are safe to express themselves and ask the questions, and I will do my best to answer them. A little bit about me and why I think I have a kind of insider view on how confusing professional language can be. So I'm American. I lived and worked in Japan for 4 years. So I was a foreigner there. I could speak Japanese pretty well, but mostly I was working in English. I now live in France. I've been living here for 15 years. I'm married and I live here permanently. So I am the stranger here that speaks French as a second language. So I think I understand what it's like for someone learning English as a second language, how confusing it can be when you want to express yourself well. Also, after I worked in Japan for 4 years, I moved back to the United States and I got a job in a very high pressure corporate American company, very energetic, work hard. And it was a very specific industry. And when I came from Japan back to the United States into this corporate American world, there was a lot of language I didn't understand. So even me, a well-educated native English speaker in a specific industry in a corporate setting, there were a lot of acronyms, which are ways of saying things shorter. There was a lot of industry-specific language and words that everybody used a lot. And so I remember the first month in the corporate setting trying to look cool, like I understood everything. And it took a little time for me to really pick up listening to these new words and then being able to use them. 3 years later in that job, I remember then I was one of the people just speaking really fast and throwing around the language. You can learn. You just have to keep your ears open and perhaps have a place like here, Business English Q&A, where you can ask the questions and clarify some confusion. So my hope is that we can get a community here and kind of help each other express any concerns and move forward and improve professional communication. Because quite frankly, even everyone can improve their professional communication. It's a matter of being polite. It's a matter of being up to date and knowing what you should or should not say. And so we can all improve. And I'm here to create a space for people who are learning English as a second language to be able to improve and move forward. So how does it work? 1, this is a free weekly class. It is going to be live every Monday at 10 p.m. in Tokyo. Because I used to live in Japan, I've been really focusing a lot of my ESL training in the area of Japan. But I do have some other people who've been asking about this class. So the class will be every Monday at 10 p.m. in Tokyo. That is 3 p.m. in Paris. And it's now 6 a.m. in New York. If you know any early birds out on the west coast of the United States, it's going to be, 6 a.m. maybe? So if anybody on the west coast of America wants to jump in really early, they are welcome. If you miss the free live event, all of these will be recorded and they will be here on my YouTube channel. So you can check them out anytime, see if you have any answers to your questions. It should be, after time, it should be a nice library of resources where people can look back and learn more and learn by other people's questions. But where do I get the questions? That's where you come in. I need you to send me questions so I can answer them. Now, I'm new to the live streaming, and I have no idea how to print words on the screen when it is going live. So what I did was I printed out some paper. Do you remember what that is? Paper. Here's my website. First of all, you can always go to my website, find out information, sign up for other classes, or get information about this class. My website is jukukristi.com, right here. You can sign up for my newsletter. You can keep in touch. You can always get a hold of me. And my email for questions that you want to ask me, or if you'd like to know more about classes, is Kristi@jukukristi.com. Oh, hopefully you can see that. There we go. Specifically for this course, for the Business English Q&A. I hope everybody sends in questions. So if you have a question or your friends have a question, please have everybody send them to me. The place where I will be collecting this, it is questions@jukukristi.com. Right there. Can you see it? Yes. Questions@jukukristi.com. Is that showing up backwards? I'm going to ask anyone who's watching to tell me, does this show up backwards? Because it looks backwards on my screen. Questions@jukukristi.com. Well, listen, like I was saying, we can all improve, we can all learn, and this is my first live streaming. So if that's showing up backwards, I will be sure to put comments below where you can find my website, my email, or how to submit questions to this new class. Remember, this is a free weekly event. I want everyone to join in. I actually have some professional friends in the United States who are English speakers who might join in just for fun. When they heard what I was doing, they thought it was kind of a neat idea to help people who speak English as a second language improve their professional communication skills. When I worked in my corporate American job, I actually worked with a woman from Shanghai, and we had some coworkers, and sort of everyone helped her improve her English. The people that might join in on the class are actually different friends who have traveled a lot, and they know how hard it is for people to really get their English to that higher level. I think that we ask a lot of people who speak English as a second language. We really want you to express yourself clearly. Although we need to keep in mind, in professional exchange, you might have two people who speak English as a second language speaking together. In this new global world, so much happens in English. So it's important to kind of have a basic understanding of how to negotiate, how to talk to a client. And I just hope that here I will be able to help you feel more comfortable, less confused, and more confident in your ability to express yourself in a professional setting. So I look forward to you joining me every week. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and please go over to my website, jukukristi.com, sign up for the newsletter so we can keep in touch. And I look forward to getting your questions that I will do my best to answer. Remember, Juku Kristi, it is your favorite place to practice English, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.